Hello everybody. Welcome to the Woodshop. Got a couple things I kind of want to talk about today. It is about 40 degrees here, so it's a little chilly. But so while I'm waiting for gardening, the weather for gardening to be able to be possible, we do have other things we can do. I got stuff in the house I can do. Hey Fairbricks, how you doing? Hey Creativity, awesome. Hey everybody, so I'm gonna be over here and it's on the phone. I don't have the iPad today, so it's a little small. So if I'm over here, I'll interact when I can. But I'll check out your stuff later, Creativity. So my wife, where she works, the office she works in, there's a couple ladies, and they always bring stuff in because they know we do woodworking and we enjoy working in the shop as a hobby. And they're always bringing stuff home. She's always bringing stuff home that we can take apart and use the lumber. And that's what we really like to do, is find things that I can use for reclaimed lumber. So I like pallet wood, old furniture. If it's no good anymore, I can use that in the garden. And that just helps lower the cost of purchasing any kind of lumber or fencing. If I can get it from somebody that's just trying to throw it out, I can repair a lot of things. So today what I wanted to show you was, let me see if I can turn this down. So check this out. So the other day, my wife came home with this. So whoever built this was a very creative person. Now, if you're my age, you know what these are. If you're probably born anytime after 2000, you're probably wondering what in the world is this contraption. But what it is this swings up. So it's an ironing board. And then it's got adjustable arms. But anyways, we're gonna start removing some of the stuff on this because we want it, some of this can be used for other projects. I have an idea. This is one solid plank here, piece of plank under this. So we're going to take this apart. I kind of wanted to show you that today. So, can everybody hear me okay? I hope everybody can hear me. So, they hot glue gun this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to remove some of this lacing. And you can see it's not sewn. It is literally going to just peel away. This is very old. This stuff is tattered. It's talk louder. Seriously? Let me see here. Talk louder. Okay, I can do that. So I'm going to pull off the lace first, like that. But this is an ironing board. If you know what an ironing board is, well, then you've been alive for quite some time. But that's just some old lace. I mean, it's all tattered and it's brown and aged. So, kind of like me. Just toss that over there. Now, other than that, I have no idea how the rest of this is attached. So I'm just going to kind of go at it with some of the tools here. And it's got a little, I got a wood chisel. Okay, so this looks like it's wood glued on. I'm not wood glued, but hot glue. And that was kind of the surprise I wanted to show everybody, that, you know, it's all about contacts. So if you can get in touch with people, and you can communicate with people. A lot of times, here's a pro tip for you. If you want lumber, everybody's always, you know, lumber can be pricey sometimes. It goes up and down like everything else. But there is a lot of construction in the area where I live lately, and some right down the road from me. So I have no problem when the builder is out there. They put up these temporary, they take plywood and they'll build these temporary dumpsters. And they toss all this lumber in there that might be 3 or 4 foot long that they're not using. Or they use it for forms for concrete or something. And I stop in and I'll ask them, hey, instead of you having to pay $200 to get that removed, how about I just take a bunch of it off your hand? And typically they say, sure. So you can get a lot of good 2x6s, 2x4s that are brand new. They're just cut and they're too small. So you can do a lot of projects. So you can see this is just, I mean, you can see how tattered this is. I mean, you can see through it. They attach some foam to it. Looks like there's a couple spots where they left the iron on and almost had a fire or something. Tell you what, that hot glue. And I do have a couple other things I want to show everybody here. Looks like they got a couple staples in there too, so they probably held it with the staples at first and then they worked the hot glue gun. So we'll get that torn out. But yeah, I got a couple other things I want to show you, which I didn't know my wife had out here in the shop because they were in boxes. And I found them this morning when I was cleaning up to do this live. And she has at this auction site down the road from where her work is. This auction site. Brand new stuff. It's a lot of times it's an Amazon return. Somebody doesn't like it or it didn't work right or it was something they didn't think matched what they thought they bought. And what they do is they return it and this place buys it and then they resell it. Very easy return policy. You can just return it. So there's a lady that lives down that way. So if they see something on there, they order. And then if they don't like it, they can just return it. So let me see if I can flip this up a little bit. So look at this. So this is one big plank. So you put that up against there for a second. And this is what I'm after. So kind of looks like almost looks like a surfboard. But let me get my scraper here. And we'll, they use this hot glue. And yes, my wife even has a purple hammer. There. So you can see it is dotted where they put glue. And what I have to get at is how did they attach the board to the rest of this? And I have a dowel. If you can see, there's dowels here. So they took wood dowels, probably glued them, and then tapped them into whatever they mate to. And just to kind of a pro tip, whenever possible, if you're doing woodworking or trying to learn woodworking, go with the grain. So the grain is running this way. Don't chisel into the grain. If you do, you'll grab the crack here and it'll just pop that whole thing up and then you've damaged the wood. So try to go with the grain as much as possible. Sometimes you can't. And then you just proceed with caution. So I almost have all of that lacing and cloth and glue blobs all chopped off. This will get a good sanding later. And I'm going to tell you what I want to do with this in a minute. Once I get the rest of this chopped off. Okay. So if you can see this, most of that glue, or at least the heaviest portion, is off. I have a dowel times 4. So I'm gonna flip this up real quick. And I kind of got to see. Okay, so I think what they did, not real happy about that, but let me see. So what they probably did was, I'm assuming, I was hoping it was going to be a couple screws in here. They drilled a hole for a 3/8 dowel, and then they drilled mating holes to here. They put a bead of glue and then they dowel pinned it, or did a dowel rod pin. So, give me 2 seconds to come over here. Let's see. So I think probably the best thing I can do. So I'm going to grab my center punch here, put it in the center of the dowel, and just pop a, see if they move at all, which they are not. So they look like they're kind of pushing in a little bit, so that's interesting. Let me give this another knock here. Yeah, okay, it stopped. So it must have a little bit of play in it. So, what we are going to do, I'm just going to gradually drill You know what? Ha ha, even better. Hold on here. Everybody, hold on. Let me get my drill kit out here. Let's see. I'm guessing it's 3/8 or 5/16, I guess. Yeah, it's about 3/8. So I think what they've done, they actually have screws underneath. They put small pieces of dowel, which I don't know why, because they were covering it with cloth. So it was never going to be seen anyways. So let me do this very carefully. I should come up to, yep, it looks like, okay. Let me get my impact driver real quick. Hang on. Okay. So it looks like Phillips, maybe? Yeah, see? Okay. So what they did was, that's exactly what they did. And I found out earlier what they did was, I started taking the back of the, it's also a step ladder. So you can use this as a step ladder, and then it doubles as this, as an ironing board. So the steps, they glued, and anybody who knows woodworking, this is old wood, and as soon as I backed the first, I took those little plugs out, and as soon as I backed the first one out, that wood split. So that's why you gotta be careful. So what I can tell now is I don't think they glued, it doesn't look to me like they glued this behind here. So that is what we're hoping. So let me get my smaller bit in here, kind of center drill it. Yeah, it pokes through. They put about a 1/4 inch thick dowel pin in there. And I don't know why, because they had foam and cloth over it, so. It's okay though, we'll figure it out. I think I like sometimes deconstruction of stuff more than I do like construction. So here we go, we'll do this again. I'll just go in and I'll feel it catch. And there it is. The only thing is I gotta be able to get a good bite on it or I'll strip the head, and I don't want to do that. There's the second one right there. Exactly, creativity. And they used 2-inch screws, so I mean, they weren't messing around. Okay, so good news. The good news is, let me show you this. It's pulled apart. I was worried that they put a seam of glue in there. I know I would have if I built this. They didn't. So that's good for me. So now what we are going to do is see if I can get these other ones drilled. Okay. Okay. Let me see if I can. There's also a chance, if I have to, what I could do is I could just drill just a touch bigger, which will then get me around the head of the screw. Because they sunk those in pretty deep, I can just pop that off the back. But let me see if I can gotta see if I can get a pick in here so I can see if I can find the threads. For like $2 at Harbor Freight, you can invest in a set of these. And I break them all the time, but you know what? I paid $2 for them. They last me about 2 or 3 years. I'll take $2 or $3 and go get some more. So I think I got that Phillips head exposed. And that one I think is exposed. So when you're doing that, you got to make sure you put down some weight bearing so you don't strip the screws. If you just try to push on it lightly, you can strip the screws sometimes. Okay, was the operation a success? There it is. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the hearts on the back. So now what I can do is I can set that aside. So my wife wants to do some other things with this, so that's going to come over here. Let me bring you guys over here. I'll try to keep it out of the bright light because I have one of those really high intensity lights. Everything's a drop. Okay. Gotta try to keep a neat work area. Hopefully everybody can still hear me. She is not on YouTube. She has, she's on YouTube to watch things, but no, she's not a content creator. She is going to, she said she will come on one of my lives. So one of my lives someday and just say hello. So, let me see how these hearts pop off here. So I'm sorry if I don't get all the comments. They flash up pretty quick on the screen. I'll try to catch up later. Oh, okay. So these hearts, if you can see that. Oh yeah, so she does. Yeah, she does a lot of projects. She makes a lot of stuff. She likes to make stuff for her desk at work and things. And she makes Christmas gifts for the ladies that she works with and stuff. So there's that wood glue. And again, like I said, go with the grain. Because if you can see the grain here, if you try to go this way, you'll actually dig that grain out. So, hopefully in another 5 minutes, I'll have... I'm going to try to keep these. I might try to use these. What I can do is I can repaint these as red, and I can these can be my heart emojis for around the garden. Oh, this one's got a pink bow on it. So whoever did this work did some really nice work. They used dowel rods. They built it pretty solid. They didn't use really much wood glue, which is good for for what I'm trying to do. Okay, so I wanted to have a surprise. So looking at this, does anybody want to venture a guess what my intentions are with this this is an old piece of pine. Sorry about that, I had an alarm go off. This is an old piece of pine, and yes, purple tape measure. It is about 11 1/4 inches wide. So it's probably it's 3/4 of an inch, but it's a 3/4 by 12 is what they would call it, or 1 by 12. But it's not really 1 inch. So anybody want to venture a guess what I'm going to do with this? Or what my thoughts are? Jen, no, I can't use it for cutting board. It is too soft because it's just pine. I'm going to show you some cutting board stuff here in a minute. That was one of my other things I wanted to talk about. Okay, so if it was Natty that said charcuterie, then Natty had it right. So what I want to do is, I might be able to get 2 out of this, I'm not sure. I have this hardwood, okay? This very red hardwood. I have a dowel pin cutter. So I can actually cut these dowels. I can cut dowels out of this wood and then re-drill these holes to clean them out. And then I could, you take this glue. This glue is what's really good stuff to use. And you glue and then you tap it in. And then you just sand it off smooth. And then what you'll see is how white this board gets, and you'll see the grain, but then you'll see 4 spots with the red in them. We had a lathe. My son has it. We gave it to him, but we can use it whenever we want. He's right up the road from me. But I just want to kind of show you this real quick. Let me see what this looks like as far as... So I'm going to sand this really quick. Like I said, try to sand with the grain as much as possible also. Okay. So you should be able to see, hopefully, the difference now, where I sanded versus where I didn't. And now let's do this. I'm doing well. So let's do this, ready? So I'm gonna pour a little water here. So this has I think this has some kind of a poly coating on it, but you'll see, okay? Now, where I sanded and removed it, watch this. And what that does is the water, it's got red. I don't know what kind of pine this is, but there's all sorts of red stuff bled down into it. That's a really nice green. Excuse me. So anyways, first surprise is, this is going to be a charcuterie board. Now, what I do have is, I put all of our screws in. This is just screws that we have that are miscellaneous. So I have a bunch of these in glass. This is just plastic. So inside. So what I want to do is, for the charcuterie board, I want to locate like a couple different places, maybe here, 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 or in an arc or something. One would be there, one would be here, one would be here. I would drill, if I took my pencil here, you could see, this is just rough, I'm just showing this just for an example. So I have this circle here. I would drill a hole a little bit bigger than the bottom. I would router this out, and then this would just set down in there safely, and you put your condiments in there. So you could put your blue cheese or ranch, hot sauce, queso, whatever. Yes, dips and stuff, whatever you wanted. And then what I'm going to do is, I'll probably run this through the planer because it does have a little bit of a bow. You can see. I would skim it in the planer, and then what I'll do is on the back, I would just sand the back, and they have those rubber feet that are stick-on rubber feet. I would just put the rubber feet to level. It would be their levelers, and it keeps it from sliding. And then you could just bring that out onto the dining room table. You could set your cheeses and your hams and your condiments, and then you could have a dish here that had your, carrot sticks and or zucchini strips or whatever. So I would, like I said, I would have 3 or 4 condiment dishes, and then, you could just, actually I could make a stand, and you could just take it in the living room and set it there, and everybody could just eat off of that. So that's what that's going to be. How do you like that? So it was free. The lady gave it to my wife, and you saw it took me 10 minutes to take this part off. I can come out, I'll get my planer on it, skim cut it, the grain will pop. Let me put this over here. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, let me get up here real quick. There he is, there's Okies. Those lights are super bright. My dad used to call me Sonny because I was so bright. No, he didn't. Anyways, so I also have I have drops when we do projects, or if I get some from somebody else. I get drops of hardwood. Hey, Shelly. So I have some maple, nice hardwood. This, I believe, this is probably oak. This, I'm not sure what this one is. I think it's oak, but hold on, let me check. Okay. This is a red oak from 1983, and it was from the northeast portion of Texas. So, 1983, Texas. Just kidding. It's oak. No, I acted like I tasted it because I was going to tell you what it was by tasting it. So what you can see is I have some walnut. Okay. And then I'm going to make a cutting board. And what I do is I'll cut these down in strips a little more, and it'll kind of be a striped cutting board. And then what I like to do is I'll take one of the lighter ones and then I'll bracket it in darker wood. Now, this wood it's nice wood, it looks nice, but when you sand it, okay, when you clear coat it, that's when the grain pops. So that's why you seal it with a food grade, I'm trying to get the light on it, so you can see the grain there. You put a food grade mineral oil on it. I buy food grade mineral oil, and you'll put it on that. This one will really pop. Now, red cedar is, in my opinion, one of the worst woods to work with. But it's also one of the best looking woods when you're done. The dust gets in your sinuses. It can be a toxic. That's why bugs don't like it. It's anti-rot, anti-bugs. So that is just red cedar sanded. Yes, smell of cedar is great. Now I'll just dump a little water. And this is what happens when you can get the grain to pop. So half is now been wet. So let me see if I can get a good picture of that. So now you can see when you put your mineral oil, it'll look like this. That's why you put mineral oil on your cutting board or beeswax, because it'll show up like this versus this. So yeah, look at the grain. So I have a bunch of this in the back here, and we're gonna be doing, you guys see where I cook, when I cook and do my cooking videos, you see that that's a rolling toolbox with a cutting board on top with a butcher block. I have a bunch of this left. So that's gonna be one of my tasks. It'll be in a video, I'll do a video on the whole thing. But I will be planing down the planks, sanding them finely, putting a routered edge on, fancy edge, and then I'm gonna build the top for where I cook in there. It's gonna be my toolbox will have this on there, where I cook. So you guys will see red cedar cooktop, where I'm actually using my cutting boards to cut and everything. So that's surprise number 2. Taking this wood, creating cutting boards. Now, one of my intentions for 2026 is if and when I finally get fully monetized, I get all of that paperwork and all of that stuff set up and I'm done, I want to start doing drawings, not hand drawings, where I'm actually drawing names. I want to be able to do cutting boards or coasters, and then I would have some kind of a trivia type thing, and then however I do the process and whoever wins would get a cutting board or some kind of merchandise. But that's about a month or 2 away. I still have to get some stuff. I still have to get some stuff ready for that, but like I said. But I do have a couple other things. Let me keep this off camera. I don't want you guys to see this. No peeking. Everybody close your eyes. No peeking. Okay. So, I'm hoping everybody can still hear me. So, I'm also possibly getting a wood burning thing. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is, my wife has her name on a wood burning kit, set. My father-in-law, he does woodworking. He burns his company name into everything. And I'll do Okies Eden. I'm gonna do the little pattern. and I want to get one of those wood burners, and then I can make a, if I make a cutting board or a charcuterie board for somebody, I can actually have my YouTube channel, probably. I'll have it on there. Hay foraging, so I can have my YouTube channel actually wood burned onto the soon-to-be charcuterie board. So I'm excited about this. This thing is, where'd my tape measure go? Oh no, I can't lose my wife's purple tape measure or there's gonna be problems. This is 44 inches long. So a 44-inch long charcuterie board that's old. I mean, this wood is old. So this is old pine. So we talked about the charcuterie board from reclaimed wood. My wife got that from ladies at work. I also have some antique stuff inside we fixed up and clear coated and all that stuff. Some stuff they're just like, hey, I don't want it. If you want to sell it, take it home, get rid of it. So sometimes I put stuff on Facebook Marketplace. She's part of this. It's down in about 20 miles from where she works. It's a clearinghouse for like Amazon returns and auction stuff. So she can go online. She can find a pressure cooker. She can find a charcuterie board. She can find a blender. She can find a air fryer. And then what they do is you bid on them. So she can get stuff for $2 or $3. One of the ladies goes down there every couple of days because that's where her parents are. She takes care of her parents. So she swings right by the place and picks it all up and brings it back to work. So with that said, come out in the shop this morning. She told me she got some stuff the other day. And I came out to clean up the shop before doing this. So I'm going to show you these things. She got these for $1 a piece, okay? So these are just wooden bowls and wooden saucers. It's acacia wood. They already got the little rubber things on the bottom. They're all done. They're clear coated. So these, I saw them here on the bench and I took them in. I said to my wife, I said, hey, what are you doing with those? And she'd already cut some up. She made ornaments and things like that for some stuff because she got these dirt cheap. So much so, these even haven't been unwrapped yet. So check this out. This still has the plastic on it. It's a square, probably 7x7 tray. So these will be showing up in videos because I have a lot of white bowls and stuff, and cameras just reflect the light and it doesn't offer, it just is not good for videography, especially on a lower end phone like I have. You'll see a lot of difference in lights and stuff and shadings. Where this does a better job of absorbing light. And then if I put a white dish on it, it'll contrast. Or if I put some rice on this, some white rice, it'll contrast. It won't be a white plate with white rice, you know what I'm saying? $1. So she got these for $1 a piece. It's acacia wood, and it's all sealed. It's all food grade. It's for eating and for displaying. So I kept 2 of these. Some of the other ones she's using for projects. But check these out. You're going to see these show up in some videos. And we're still not done yet. Still not done yet. It's like Christmas. It's like Christmas at Okies. Even these she got dirt cheap. So people buy this stuff and what they do is they end up saying, oh, I don't want it now, so they return it. So rather than, you know, Amazon won't take it back, or they just say to keep it and then they resell the stuff. So check this. Check this. Again, acacia wood. Look at this. This is 14 inches in diameter. So this will be in a cooking video coming up. I can do thumbnails with this. it's endless what I can do with this. So now I can use my lighter bowls or foods that are pale in color, and they'll show up better because I won't have it on a white tray where you can't even hardly see what I cooked. That's been frustrating to me. I've been trying to figure out what I wanted. I didn't even know she had these until today when I came out to do cleaning, to clean the shop. Oh, no problem, Coach. Hey, before you leave, did you know FedEx bought UPS this year? They bought, FedEx went ahead and they purchased UPS. They changed the company name too, so from now on, they're going to be called Fed Up. So FedEx bought UPS, changed the name to Fed Up. So anyways, bad joke, I know, I'm sorry. But look at that, and we're still not done. So $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 right now for all of that. It's like one of those infomercials, like for the, what was it, the Sham Wow? But wait, there's more. Wait until you see this. Look at this. It's got routered handles. Hey, Strings, look at the routering on this. So this is acacia wood, and they've routered the handles. They did a router all around. This is a routered border inside about an inch. $1. So she got all this for $1 each. Unbelievable. And that is, this here is 15 by 20, 15 inches by 20. And guess what? If you buy today, not only do you get the 1 for $19.99, not only do you get the 2 for $19.99, you get the 3 for 3 easy installments of $6.23 each. I'm just kidding. I don't do the infomercial thing well. There is one more thing. Yes, he does. He's got a very nice voice. Okay, one more. Okay, this is the last reveal from what my wife got. And I believe this is the one that you put on your stove top. Check this. Check this. It's got the gold plated, it's not gold. But look at this. I believe this is one that you put on your top, your stove top. But look at the, $1 each for all of this stuff. So this will probably be appearing in some of my videos also. So I'm just really psyched. I mean, I'm just shocked that, she came across and found that kind of a deal, and that people, I don't know what they paid for it originally. Probably not a lot, because it's, who knows where it's made. It's probably, anyways, I won't say anything else about that, but that's all I got to say about that, Jenny. But yeah, I got this whole stack of nice wood products that are going to now become part of the Okies Eden. I don't even know what to say. I mean, the Okies Eden videography. It just, it went from a 4 to an 11 on a scale of 10. I'm just kidding. Huh. I was talking about those rubber feet for the bottom of the charcuterie board that you stick on, and look what just fell out of that box. So I have 2, 4, 5 of the rubber feet to put on the back of that charcuterie board when I'm done, so it doesn't slide around. So if you're new, I just took apart this ironing board, this old pine wood ironing board. It's 44 by 11. And then this will all be planed down, fine sanded. I'll put a poly coat on it. I'll probably put some cherry pins in the hole, so you'll see 4 red pins. We'll cut some holes for condiments, and that can just set on the dining room table at Christmas or New Year's or what I'm thinking is, because, you know, my channel's so huge now that maybe they're going to make a national holiday. They're just going to call it, you know, Okies Eden Day or something like that. And everybody gets the day off, paid holiday. So if you work, you get paid. If you don't work, they're going to pay you anyways because it's Okies Eden. Everybody should get paid on that day. But those were the surprises. I just wanted to kind of hang out and show everybody that a lot of ways you can save money if you interact with people and if you network with people in your niche, in YouTube, in life. I know other people that do woodworking. I know other people in my town that do gardening. There you go. And, you know, just don't be afraid to talk to them. You know, sometimes they have something, they're going to toss it out. My area here, this town does a yearly village-wide garage sale, both in the fall and the spring. Yeah, it would be, yeah. And what they do is, so every April and October, they set up with the garbage disposal company that picks up our garbage. We have a bulk day twice a year. Yes, you can. And so the day after that, or the day after when it's done, so they usually stop at about 2:30, 3 o'clock. So by 3:30, everybody, not everybody, but people go on Marketplace and they will put wood that they took out of their shop that they don't want anymore, or they're moving. They'll say, it's out by the road, come get it. You'll go get 4x4s, 4-foot long pieces of 4x4, 3 pieces, 3 foot long, 2x4s, 2x6s, trim. I've gotten trim work and baseboard. That stuff's expensive, 17, 18 bucks for a piece of a 10-foot or 12-foot baseboard. You get it for free. They finished working on their house. They don't want to have to store a 12-foot piece somewhere. They don't have room for it. So they put it out by the road. So I wait patiently. When that time hits, I get the truck, the purple truck, and we go around and we scavenger hunt all around our area because you got to do it quick. We have gotten sitting stools, perfect shape. They were clearing their house out. So they just wanted to get rid of it. So if nobody bought it, they're just tossing it. And it's like brand new. They're tired of having it. So I go grab it and we can take it apart sometimes if it's wood or if it's something else. Like this here, you guys all saw I'm doing my gates on, I'm building gates for my garden, for all my trellises. Well, let me show you this. What do you see there? I need to buy hinge. So I have a 13-inch piece of piano hinge. I can cut in half, and it's free. So I can cut this in half. That'll give me my hinges for one of my gates. And so that's, you know, just stuff. People will call that, I don't know what you call that. Some people would say that's kind of, you know, weird that people do that, but my garden, other than some of the fence I've had to buy, I've gotten some fencing from other people that didn't want it anymore. They were clearing out. I got that. Plastic fencing, they had on super sale one day. They were just trying to get rid of it at the store. It was late in the season, like fall, when people's gardens, and they were just trying to get rid of some of their gardening stuff at one of the places. And for, you know, a 50-foot roll for $1 or $2. I mean, they're just trying to get rid of it and maybe make a little bit of money so they don't, you know, lose money on it. So you can actually build stuff. You can run a farm, or, you know, some stuff you got to buy. You have to. But if you watch for deals, talk to your neighbors, network with people. That's why networking with people on here. Somebody sent me seeds. They're at the post office. I went there today, but the post office that has the little town that has my post office, our post office, on Saturdays it's open from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and it's only open from noon till 4 every Monday through Friday. So it's a part-time post office. So I got the notification yesterday that I was going to have some seeds, or I had a package coming in from somebody. So I'm all excited. Went over to work with my grandson this morning to hang out for a while, and I go in and my mailbox is empty. So the guy didn't sort the mail from 9 to 10. I don't know what he did, but Monday when he goes in, I'm sure he'll finally put it in my actual mailbox so I can get it. Because the window was closed, he was gone. I got there at 10:15. Oh, bye, Jen. Good luck. But yeah, so literally, like I said, my wife got these for $1 a piece. All these, these are going to work great in my videos. She got the step stool charcuterie board, ironing board thing for free, so I can work on that. She wants the other board. She's going to make maybe a little box or something with a hinge on it, a jewelry box or a little storage box or a knick-knack box or something. I showed you guys the hardwood. I got a bunch of hardwood drops, which I want to start making small cutting boards or coasters. And I can offer those maybe once a month as a, as a gift to whoever wins something on my channel. So a lot of stuff coming up in 2026. Today was just one of those days that's 30 degrees. It was 24 last night. Hey, Canned Mac, you're running on my TV right now, actually. So that's why I'm out here today. I came out, turned the heater on. So it's about 60 degrees in the shop here. You can probably hear it humming in the background. And it's all working here today. And then I have baseboard I got to put in the house. I got some painting in the house. So any days where I can't get outside and work in the garden, I do that stuff in the house. Or I work on a project out here. So eventually I probably will. Now what I'll do is, my son does have a woodworking Etsy channel. He also builds cutting boards. I build cutting boards and then give them to him. He can sell them there, and then he just gives me a part of the money, and then he keeps part of the money. And he does really well on Etsy. And he does birdhouses. Only he took it a notch more on doing birdhouses. He has people send them a picture of their house. He's got a Etsy site. I forget the name of it. I will get it for people because I want to eventually. I'll probably add that here so I can just say to people, hey, if you want one of these, you got to go to him. When I figure it out, yes, I will. I'm going to put his link. I got to talk to him. I got to make sure he wants me to do it because, it's going to, if he gets inundated with orders, he's a first responder. So he can't just turn something around the next day where I can. If I have to work on something for 2 days straight, I can. But we're going to start building up his stock. So on his Etsy site, he does birdhouses where people actually send them a couple pictures of their house, and then he designs the birdhouse. It's not perfectly to scale, but he shrinks it down like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and he'll make a birdhouse that looks like their house. He built one for him. He built one for my in-laws. He's built probably 10 of them now. People love them. They see them, they just they snap them up real quick. So if your house, if you wanted to have a birdhouse of your house, you would send him pictures and you can say, hey, it's 60 by 80 or 40 by 30. And then he can kind of scale it approximately and build the house, match the paint as close as he can. He won't have the exact paint match. And then you just put it on a pole and you got a birdhouse. So, but yeah, I'll get his Etsy site because he'll end up doing more of that than I will. And he gets a deal on Etsy through shipping. So he gets a really good shipping price. So if I were ever to do mugs and I had to ship them myself, I would use his Etsy site where he could print the labels for me and I could use his so it would be cheaper in shipping. And I'm meeting with a guy next week about mugs because I want to have mugs and get a couple shirts that I can use also because I want to do some contests for my channel because everybody's been so great to me in my channel. Everybody's been supporting me. I know I support a lot of people too, but everybody's kind of like circled the wagons and help me with my watch hours. I try to help others with their watch hours. And I want to make an effort in 2026 where I can start doing giveaways just to say thank you to certain people, and do contests, and then ramp it up more in 2027. Creativity, if you can, do you have a source for the mugs, or are you doing it yourself? Strings and pucks, yes, I'll get you one. Like I said, I got a meeting with a guy next week on some stuff. If anybody has a link to what they do, don't put it here. If you go to my okieseden@gmail.com, or put it in the comment below where I can see it later. Let me know who your link is, or just put the link there, whatever website it is. I have a couple people. I'm just trying to find the right one. You start asking questions, and some people are, better with the customer service side, some better with the quality. Just trying to find the right person. So yeah, creativity. If you have Vistaprint for what? Is Vistaprint do mugs? Do they do mugs and stuff? Because you see, I put that's my logo. If you see I put the picture of it on there. Is it expensive? Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying, because I can search it out. I've checked out the Printify and all of that. And there's something 360, Print 360 or something. $15 a piece. Critter Creek does shirts. Okay, I just took a snapshot of that. But I want to keep it low. I want to keep the price low. And because I don't want people, times are tough. I don't want people buying stuff, just to have it from my place. Yeah. Okay. I'll check out Vista. I saw it on a list somewhere. Oh, you're doing it. Okay. Ideally, I want to find somebody that can do the whole thing, drop ship and everything, take the taxes out and do all of that. Because I'd rather not have to deal with that. But in the interim, oh, well, thank you, Wendy. That in the interim, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to, I want it to be as inexpensive as possible. And in the interim, before I can find somebody that actually does drop shipping, I'm going to do more giveaways where I'm just going to send it to somebody for winning something, or just being kind or supporting me in a special way. Oh, okay, cool. I'll have to check that out. Send me if you got the link there, put it in the comment or something down below. But other than that, I think, yeah, that's all I'm going to do. I think I'm going to eventually get a store thing going, but the way I look at it first is I want to get the monetization stuff put to bed. So that's done. And I want to make sure it's done properly. I've already started the whole process to get, the employee ID number and all of that stuff. And I got a couple accountants that do this kind of stuff that I'm talking to see how they do it and what I need to do, where they can kind of give me any guidance. I've researched it, so I know. My sister runs a business, so she's calling me on Tuesday. So I'm trying to get the business end of the actual channel put to bed. So hopefully in the next month or two, if I can get monetized fully, then I can get that put to bed. Then I'll start to expand. I don't want to do it all at once. That's cool, Canned Mac, that's good. Yeah, I'm sure it is probably less money in the United States, yeah. So I've been checking out the tax stuff, for reading up on the stuff from YouTube to get all that set. Because I want to, once I start rolling stuff out where I can do t-shirts and mugs and stuff, I do have some merch coming in that's already on order, and that's gonna be little giveaway things. But I just want to make sure all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted as far as the business side of it. And then I know US, you gotta do your quarterly stuff and tax stuff if you do it. Sticker Mule. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to look at stickers. I know a lot of YouTubers do sticker swaps, I think, and I think they take them to meetups, like they got the meetup with M&T in Lake Texoma, over here in Oklahoma in April or May. I'm going to, hopefully, for at least a day. It's only about 30 minutes from my house. So I can actually go every day if I want. I don't have to stay the night anywhere. But what would be cool is like people that know me now, if we can go there, if they want to come back, I'm thinking barbecue at Okies' house. Maybe we'll set something up where a few of the people that support me from Oklahoma that are close to me, they can come over. I'll have some ribs cooking. Yeah, slow walking it, exactly. The mugs and stuff, the stickers, t-shirts, I can use those as giveaways, so I don't have to worry about sales tax and stuff. I would just get their size, order it. It might take a couple weeks to get it because I gotta have somebody make them. And then I would just send it somehow. But that's, again, that's not tomorrow, that's down the road. Gotta get everything else put to bed first. Yeah, I know, I wish you and Natty were down here because we could have a really good time. Natty would have to leave Jay home because Jay would just be, I'm just kidding, Jay would be welcome. Except I've seen Jay eat, and he'll bite your arm off if you get in between him and a Rambo sandwich. He'll fight you for it. But, and Natty knows I'm kidding. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do is maybe they can come back here and then April, May, whenever it is, my garden would actually be greening up. They could actually come here and they could actually walk through the garden if they want to take pictures of it. And they could, you know, I know everybody wants to meet the Okie. They'd be like, wow. I'm like on their bucket list. And it's like, once they get that put to bed, it's like, hey, I'm just kidding. I'm on nobody's bucket list. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping for because it's really close to me. And 35 is east of me. And where they're at Texoma, it's west of there. So if they were going to leave and go home that day, they'd only have to come over 8 extra miles out of their way. And they could come over here and see my place. I could take them a tour of the garden, show them the wood shop. They could run the tiller for me all through the garden. I would have bags out there. They could harvest all my green beans. Some of them could have fun. They could, you know, there's a lot of fun. They can go through and weed my whole garden. They can water it for me, do all this work, and then you guys are free to go. Be like the whole Tom Sawyer thing. You know, this is super fun. I'm weeding plants. You got to try this. This is super fun. Get the people to do it. Oh, I would have coffee on. I'd have coffee. We'd have, the charcuterie board would be loaded with charcuterie food. I'd have some homemade stuff I cooked. We'd have potato salad from the garden. Hopefully I could have, what some people call them, I think in Canada, a lot of people call them table cucumbers, table cukes, where you take your cucumbers on the mandolin slicer, slice them all the same thickness, and then you add your mayo, vinegar, salt, pepper, and so on and so forth. I'd have pumpkin pie, sure. I do have a fence that needs painting. I'm just letting it weather a little bit. I gotta let it dry, and then I'll paint it in a couple weeks as soon as I get some warm weather. That's right. And so I'm hoping, you know, I know that Wendy is here, some other people that are up north of me towards the city. They're gonna be over there in Texoma, so I'm not that far from there. No, we're not doing a purple fence. That hasn't even been discussed, and I know she wouldn't want to do that. She's already said what color she wants. I wouldn't care. I don't care. I don't care if it was plaid. I mean, I'm the one that's got to paint it, so if it's too difficult, I don't want to do it, but I just let her pick the colors. I don't care about colors. When we got married, they were like, hey, what colors what do you want to do for suits? What do you want to do for I said, I don't care. Just pick a color and let me know what it is so I can show up. So when it comes to colors and whatever, plates or furnishings, I don't care. As long as the chair is comfortable, it's clean, and I'm not with a hoarder where you got to walk through paths and everything, and everything's clean and put away, usually, you know, I'm fine with that. I don't care. If the entire house was, the only one I didn't like was when we moved, we moved to a town called Salina, a little city in Texas, before we moved up here. We were there for, I think, 5 or 6 years. And I bought a house. It was foreclosed on. The bank said, we need this much money and it's yours. So I said, okay, you got it. Boom. The people really did a number on the inside. There was, holes everywhere. So I went in and just room by room, had to tape and fix holes, prime and paint, use the Kills stuff in the bathrooms for the anti-mold, sanded, new trim, new fixtures, all that stuff for the first year and a half. If anybody knows Salina, their color for their teams, the color for their sports teams is burnt orange. So imagine walking into a house for the first time and you look at the rooms and every room is burnt orange. A couple rooms had it split with a chair rail, so it was white and then orange, but most of the rooms were orange. Yeah, it's fun, creativity. Okay, see you later, Perth. So, orange, can you imagine that? So, the first thing I did was, the bathroom, the master, kitchen, living room, those 4 rooms. I immediately came in, repaired the holes in the walls in one day, and then just went through with a prime coat, did all this so it was a white primer, and then we painted them the colors we wanted. Because those were the rooms we were living in. We had 2 spare bedrooms, the second bathroom, and the big mudroom. Those I could get to next. But we took care of all of that other stuff first. And then once we're moved in, then I could start going room by room by room. Anyways, then we come up here. The kitchen was this blood red. They had some kind of, no kidding, I would have to call it calf poop green on the wall. It was just a gross color. And when I was pulling out vanities and toilets and walls, it would gross you out. The stuff I found in cabinets were trash worthy. They should not have been saved. I'm not going to go any further than that, but I wore gloves. It was disgusting. And just had to go in, gutted them, cleaned, Kills on the wall, the Kills primer. Got in there with Clorox and water, scrubbed the floors, disinfected everything, put new toilets in. So if you can do all that stuff, you can save yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars through your lifetime because, I redid our whole kitchen, flooring, cabinets, countertops. I did all that work myself. Sink, the plumbing, the new valves. Built the one cabinet I still got to build doors for. You go get a quote from somebody for a kitchen, they'll quote you $25,000, $30,000. We did everything, I believe, the cabinets, the countertops, all that. I think we got it under $4,000, and I did all the work, so. And you learn, and everybody's like, well, what if I make a mistake? Well, you know what? You paid $4,000. If you mess up one of the cabinets for $250, go buy another cabinet. You still didn't pay somebody $25,000 and have to take a loan out for it. It's just like a hot water tank. They'll charge you $3,000 to put a hot water tank in. Go buy a hot water tank. Do it yourself, you can do it. Guess what? You break it the first time, you tighten the fitting too much, you crack one of the lines. Guess what? You're out $400. Go out and buy another one. You're only $800 in. You still save $2,200. So you just got to learn to do it yourself. That's why these tools, we have all these tools. We've done this for years. Every time we go to build something, okay? Every time you build something, if we need a piece of equipment for it, Home Depot is one of them. I think Lowe's does too, but we get them more from Home Depot. They'll send you 10 or 20% off if you buy $250. And what happens is, I can, for $250, so say I'm gonna go out and buy some cabinetry, it's $500, $600. 10 or 20% of that, that's $50 to $100, right? I can get one of these for $80. So we go there, get this, the stuff we want, get our $100. We just got this basically for free. And we walk out with all the lumber, and now we got a piece of equipment. So that's how we've built through the years. You know, that's why I have all the equipment. I didn't go out and buy it all at once because it gets expensive. But if you plan stuff, when you do it, like we're going to be doing our siding hopefully this coming fall, hopefully, and windows. When I do that, that's going to be quite a few $1,000s. I will find out. I know I'm going to need some extra stuff that I'm going to need for tools. I will buy them with it because I'll basically get them for free. That's just the way we do it. But anyways, well, I thank everybody for being here. I hope everybody found this interesting. I'll do some more stuff out here. I got to build some fencing, some gates here, and I'm going to be building those doors for our pantry in there. I'll probably do some of that here because that's a little more specialized. You're cutting grooves and using dado blades and stuff that way. So that's a little more intricate work, which I'm not the best at. I'm better at roughing stuff in, but I can do the fine work. It's just I can get impatient. And then I get impatient, I get mad, then I mess something up, then I get really mad, and then I just put everything away and go back until the next day, because that's the way I have to do it. There you go, that's another way to do it. So I hope you guys all found this interesting. Like I said, my wife got that free step stool ironing board, which I'm making charcuterie board out of. She got all these free pieces of acacia wood platters and plates that are going to be in my videos coming up. Building some cutting boards I hope to be able to gift and give away for my channel. And then I'm working on some merchandise stuff. So I'll be able to, hopefully in February, March, start to do maybe some trivia where I ask stuff from the past year, what I've mentioned in my channel. Maybe do 10 questions and see if whoever gets the most right, you know, in a 2-hour period or something, I'll just post it a couple of weeks in advance and say, hey, whoever's on my channel that subscribes to me, if you can, you know, whoever gets the most right first wins something, and then whatever that is. So thanks again, everybody, for supporting my channel. Like I said, hopefully in the next month or two, if I get finalized on my full monetization, get all that paperwork put to bed, then I can really start to focus on outreach as far as getting people stuff, getting shirts and hats, and being able to do competitions where I can give stuff to people is what my goal is for 2026. And of course, helping other channels to get successfully monetized. Poetic Tears, as of yesterday, was, I think, 90 short maybe hours, and she was still a few days behind. So hopefully in the next couple of days, we'll see Poetic Tears join JC Calamity Jane as at least being partially monetized. And then I know Dr. Ninja Turtle is with The Source, and he's hopefully going to get monetized here soon. And I didn't know this till last night. I think it was Creativity. Somebody said, last night I was on something, they said, oh, congratulations that you're the person tomorrow on The Source that's going to get the shout outs for Saturday. So I'm like, where? When? I wasn't able to go last Sunday to his because I was busy. So I go to The Source and I check his channel out, and I'm the one, I'm doing the shout out. I get the shout outs today. So thank you, everybody. I hope, I didn't even know. They told me that, I was shocked. But I'm kind of excited about that. I've gotten some, messages back and forth about congratulations, and I won one last month too, and then I was able to, because I had already won the month before, and unfortunately I didn't even want it this month. If I was there, I was going to gift it to Dr. Ninja Turtle because he's so close. So I got to try to remember to be there tomorrow, so if I do win, I can gift it. Because I've won it once. Now this is my second time. I won it in November. Or no, I didn't win. Somebody gifted me. And then I won in December and gifted Poetic Tears. And then I won yesterday, or last Sunday. So I was just shocked and very happy. So thanks again, everybody, for being here. Hey, if I get 50 subscribers this month, I'll be ecstatic. Okay, creativity. Creativity. We will get you the 50. I'm gonna make sure I'll do a shout out for you and try to get some people to come over and check your channel out. It will. It will. You'll get there. I've been working at it for a while. I started last February, and then, you know, if I get it within the year, that would be great. I'm partially, so that part's done. But like I said, hopefully within a month or two, I can be fully and be done. And then I can just focus on the channel growth and helping other people grow and just having a good time with it. So I appreciate everybody being here. I really do. I know I say that a lot, and believe me, I mean it. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody's support. Everybody's been great to me. I hope I've been able to show that in return, and hopefully I can continue to pay it forward and help others to grow. And then this community can just keep growing is what we want. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a great Saturday. Hope you enjoy your Sunday. And then I think most people, is it Martin Luther King Day Monday, I believe. So hopefully a lot of people have that day off. Kick back, relax, hopefully have a good long weekend. See your friends and your family. And we'll see you on the YouTuberverse. Take care, everybody.